You were lying in bed at 3 a.m. replaying a conversation from 3 years ago, not because it matters, not because you can change it, but because your brain won't let go. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Overthinking doesn't solve problems, it just makes you tired. Travis Bickle, from the movie Taxi Driver. He was always thinking, always planning, always watching people from his cab, building scenarios in his head. He'd drive for the city at night, observing everyone, analyzing everything, creating narratives about strangers he'd never meet. But the more he thought, more disconnected he became from reality. His thoughts became a prison, and eventually, they became dangerous. Because here's what happens when you overthink. You stop living in the world, you start living in your head. And the world in your head is always worse than the real one. You tell yourself you're figuring things out, but let's be honest, you're not solving anything. You're just circling the same thoughts. You rehearse conversations that never happen. You plan for scenarios that never come. You prepare for disasters that never arrive. You fixate on things you can't control, the past you can't change, the future you can't predict. You replay mistakes like they're movies you can't stop watching. That embarrassing thing you said 5 years ago, your brain saved it in 4K. That text you sent that got left unread, you've analyzed it 47 different ways. That decision you made last month, you've second-guessed it every day since. And every time you overthink, you teach yourself that thinking is the same as doing. It's not. Thinking about going to the gym isn't exercise. Thinking about starting a business isn't entrepreneurship. Thinking about changing your life isn't change. It's just thinking. Here's what nobody tells you. Overthinking is procrastination disguised as intelligence. You think you're being careful, you're being paralyzed. You think you're being thorough, you're being stuck. You think you're being smart, you're being scared. Because the real problem isn't that you don't know what to do. The problem is you're trying to solve an emotional problem with logic. You can't think your way out of anxiety. You can't analyze your way out of fear. You can't plan your way out of uncertainty. You act your way out. Travis Bickle thought he was the hero of his own story. He spent so much time in his head, he convinced himself his delusions were reality. And that's the danger of overthinking. You start believing your thoughts are facts. Your anxiety tells you everyone's judging you. Your overthinking turns that into certainty. Your fear tells you you'll fail. Your overthinking builds an entire case for why it's true. Your doubt tells you you're not ready. Your overthinking finds 1,000 reasons to wait. But none of it is real. It's just noise. And here's the worst part. Overthinking doesn't just waste your time, it wastes your life. Every hour you spend overthinking is an hour you're not living. Every decision you delay is a decision to stay exactly where you are. Every conversation you rehearse in your head is a conversation you're not having in real life. You're so busy thinking about your life that you forget to actually live it. And one day you'll look back and realize you spent years preparing for a life you never started. So here's what you do. First, make the smaller decision. Make it fast. Not because you're sure, because sitting in limbo is more expensive than being wrong. One decision today is worth more than 100 thoughts tonight. Second, set a thinking deadline. Give yourself 5 minutes to think about something. Then decide. No extensions, no just one more minute. Because if you can't decide in 5 minutes, you won't decide in 5 hours. You'll just think in circles. Third, ask yourself, is this thought useful? Not is it true, not is it possible, is it useful? If it's not helping you move forward, it's just noise. Let it go. Fourth, do the thing that scares you. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when you've thought it through. Now. Because action is the only thing that breaks the overthinking loop. Your brain won't shut up. I know, mine doesn't either. But the goal is